What's up? Um, to Wednesday, February 3rd, I think. Um, I've been debating, I'm new to disc golf, so I've been playing since like September or something, and I've seen a lot of videos, a lot of like amateurs that, get on and do disc reviews and talk about their stuff and do all kinds of cool stuff. And I've debated it because another voice out there is another voice out there, another new person watching a YouTube video or whatever and getting interested in the game, which is awesome. The more people that are interested in it, the more demand, the more people start selling discs, and the more courses open up, and that kind of stuff. So share the love. I am thinking about starting to record myself playing at some of my local courses, when I go on like trips and stuff. So, yeah, here's video number one. We'll see if I actually end up deciding to upload this. This is just like on my phone. But yeah, my name's Wes. I'm originally from Kentucky, in Berea, Kentucky, so near Lexington. Moved down to Gainesville, Florida, just for various reasons. And yeah, got into disc golf. A buddy of mine introduced me to the game, and it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, I love it. I have been, I get obsessed about stuff, and I will just dive down rabbit holes, learning everything I can, just going way overboard with it. That's just what I do. I'm bad about it. Disc golf has been a lot of fun learning. If I can get that to stay. Yeah, disc golf has been a lot of fun learning. So on this trip, I'm in Tampa for some work training, and I have some time, so I thought, hey, let's start this. Let's do it. You got to start somewhere, So I'm going to talk to the discs that I have that are in my bag that I use when I go out, and this is I'm still learning and I'm still growing and working on my form and this and that and trying out new discs. So some of the discs I'll talk about, I'm either still trying to learn if I like the disc or not, still trying to figure out how the disc is supposed to be thrown and what it's good for, what situations, and whether or not it's a disc that I can throw the way it's supposed to be thrown. I'll explain what that means here in a minute. I am no expert by any means, and I will probably get some of these terms wrong. I know that, and you can grill me on it. That's fine. That being said, these are my opinions. These are not fact, and no one's paying me to say this or, whatever. This is just, like I said, my opinion, where I'm at in like 4 months of playing the game. So I'm going to start probably with my putters and work my way up. Yeah, so let's go. I have 3 putters. Let's move some of this stuff. I have 3 putters. I like having 3 putters because when I go to putt, I hold 2 in my hand and I putt. That's just how I putt. A lot of times, like when I'm practicing, I'll toss one and then I'll toss the other, and that's just for practicing, getting the form down and working on my putting game. So we'll talk about what putters I have and what I use them for. So for starters, it's actually like the 3rd or 4th disc that I bought. My buddy who introduced me was like, hey, go get a putter, get a mid-range, and get a driver. So I had no idea what I was doing. I went to my Play It Again Sports, grabbed a couple discs. One of them said putter, one of them said like mid range. I think it was a shark or something. And then one said driver. And I just got discs that I thought looked cool. No idea what they were. I don't even think the driver said what it was. It actually, a couple weeks later, or like a week later, got put in a pond. My buddy was like throwing it around because I hated it. It was so overstable. It was nuts. I couldn't throw it. It would just hook straight left. Now me, I probably could throw it now, maybe. I don't know. But it went in a pond, and I still haven't found it. No one's turned it in. I don't even think my phone number was on it. So, whoever found it out there, if you found a red like tournament disc in Northside Park, disc golf in Gainesville, Florida, a month or two ago, or whatever, I think it was the Champion plastic. It might have been an Innova disc. Cool. I hope you got some use out of it because I wasn't. I really wasn't. That's fine. Back to putters. So first putter is an Innova AVR. This is just in their basic plastic. So they're real hard, not soft, like not poppy or anything plastic. I think it's like a 172 or something like that gram. I'm not sure. It doesn't say. I know it's kind of heavy. Does it say? No, it doesn't. Oh yeah, it's just scribbled 175. So it's a heavy putter. Um, the reason I still have this is I think it's a really pretty disc. It's just simple. It's like a light blue. It's great. It's a really pretty disc. It is great for like a really short hole. If you're teeing off with a putter, it's good because it's gonna hold that line. And I honestly, when I throw this disc, unless I throw it on an Anheuser, it stays straight. It doesn't finish at all. It just stays straight, and I know about how far it's gonna go. Lately, I've been like overthrowing some holes on approach shots, so I'm working on that. But this is a great disc for that. I'm thinking that it's mostly just going to be my utility putter disc. So like when I'm inside 100 feet and I need to get in the to the basket, if I got some rough stuff in front of me, or if I need to throw a thumber or a hammer or something weird, and I don't I whatever, or if I might lose the disc or something, put it in water. I'm gonna grab this one because if something happens to it, I'm not devastated. I'm not I'm out $8 or whatever, and I'll get over it. I like the disc, and I recommend this disc to anybody anybody. It's a good disc. It's a great putter. It's consistent. So yeah, Innova AVR. I've read good things about the AVR 3, whatever. But yeah, this and whatever plastic you can find it in almost any condition that you can find it in, it's just a fantastic disc. Love it. Until I lose this disc, it's staying in the bag probably, unless I get another one of the other the other putter I have. If I get another one of those, I'll probably put it on a shelf or see if my wife wants it or whatever. So on to the other two. They're the same disc. I keep two. One that I beat in more, faster, and then one that I keep for open approach shots that I'm not likely to hit a tree or lose or whatever, not likely to get dings and nicks on it. And that's the Discraft Paul Macbeth Luna. So I have it in this purple with a purple foil, and I have it in a blue gray with a blue really cool stamp. I am not in love with this color, which actually a buddy of mine is going to trade me a gray one with a red foil. So that's going to be awesome. I'm excited about that. But yeah, Luna. I putt with that. When I'm putting, going for the basket, that's what I'm putting with because it's really consistent. It's really tacky and grippy, so it grabs the chains a little better than the AVR. They're kind of hard to find right now, is one problem with them because everybody uses them. But I love it. That's why I have two of them in case I lose one, or one gets really beat in or something. And like I said, when I go to putt, like I have one in my hand, and so like I putt and I'm holding one, just comfort thing. So like when I'm practicing, I already have a second disc that I can throw if I need to make an adjustment or something, try something new. So next is I guess mid-range or approach discs. I'm going to start like with a little, work my way from close range out. I have a Big Z Paul Macbeth Zone Discraft. Really overstable disc, really consistently overstable disc. Like I know when I throw this out there, it is gonna fade. I'd like to go out and record throwing some of these, but I don't have a place to do that at the moment. I will eventually, like, film, like go through and just throw all my discs on camera. But for now, we'll just talk about them. But yeah, the Zone. This is great for flick shots. If I need to like cut hard around something, 150 to 200 feet is usually the range that I'm looking at here. I know if I'm inside of 150 feet that I can grab my putter and put it on the line and I'm there. And unless I need to like skip around something, that's something I can't do with my putter because they're too straight. Like that, I'll go with this. But then other than that, basically 150 to 200, 180, 200 feet, something like that. I'm grabbing this disc and I'm gonna put it near the basket. Like it's a really predictable disc. It's great. I'm still learning it, so like it's not my go-to disc, which is probably my weakest part of my game. Is that 200-foot range area, like 180 to 220, 230 kind of range is where I need to work on my game. But yeah, really good disc, really consistent. Would recommend, if you're looking for a good consistent approach disc. I wouldn't. It says putt and approach. I wouldn't use this as your only putter. It's like not in this plastic anyway. Maybe if you got it in the Pro D or something, I could see that. But even then, it's going to be really overstable. So the next disc is the Tour Series Tim Barham Buzz SS. And this ESP like swirly plastic. This one, this is a great like approach flick disc. If I need to get it like 200 feet in a straight line, I know I can flick this one just on an absolute dead straight line for like 200 feet, 220 feet. Even on a backhand, this one is just not gonna finish left. At least not for me. This disc is straight, like straight line. Unless I put some kind of angle on it, then it'll hold that line, hold that angle, whatever release angle. But if I release this straight, it is doing nothing but going straight. Period. Almost annoyingly so. Like when I throw this disc, I know that I need to put it where I want it, and like it's not gonna like fade off. Whatever. I don't remember what the numbers on this thing are, but yeah. This is like a 179, so it's a really heavy disc too. You throw it, it's straight, and it's gonna land, and it's just gonna stay straight, unless you put some kind of weird angle on it. So then for the rest of my mid ranges are the Buzz Discraft in two different plastics. So this is the Big Z, same plastic that my Zone was in, and this is the ESP, same plastic as the previous disc. They fly a little differently. This one turns more than this one, so this one is typically straighter. This one also skips really well. It's like a lot of times if I'm like 200 feet or a little more and I need to like skip or like flick it and have it skip up to the right, I'll grab this disc. It's really good for that. So yeah, if my Zone can't quite get there or I need a little bit straighter of an approach, these are the discs that I grab for those mid-range approach shots or those really short tees. Like there are some tees that at my home couple clinics that are like 200 feet, 220. I'll usually grab a buzz and put it within circle for close, putting range. So moving on up to fairway drivers, I only have two, which looking at my discs is probably kind of a problem. I say kind of because there's a couple distance drivers I have. They're labeled as distance drivers, but honestly, they don't feel like they fly like a distance driver. They feel more like a fairway driver consistency. So like they don't have that big hard finish. But anyway, both of my fairways are Latitude 64 discs in the Opto plastic. I love it because it's a really durable plastic. I have thrown these straight into like first available tree and just not a nick on them. They're fantastic. This first disc is actually the only hole-in-one disc that I have thrown. I decided to keep playing with it because I love it too much to take it out of my bag, and I'm not good enough to figure a new disc out. Like, I got a new musket, and it just was not flying the same. I don't know why. I think it might have been a mental thing. So I think I already said what this is. The Latitude 64 Opto musket in, I think it's like 175 gram. First hole-in-one was Jonesville Disc Golf Course on the 1st of December of 2020, hole 4. It was the short pen position and from the short tee pad, or from the amateur tee pad. Aced it. Didn't really believe it had happened. That being said, if that says anything about this disc, I know that when I release this disc, it is going to fly smooth, and it is going to fly. I can put this anywhere from 250 to 300 feet. Easy. I don't have to super muscle it. I can't really S-curve that well, and I can't hyzer flip well, but I know, flick or backhand, I know exactly how this disc is going to fly. It's a really good, consistent disc. I have this in my hand. I feel super confident that I know where my shot's going to end up. I can predict it. I know how it's going to fly. And it just, like, when you let it go, it just feels so great coming out of your hand. Amazing. Love it. Would recommend it to anyone trying to get into disc golf. Grab this as your driver. If you're going to, just grab a couple discs and go out and try it. If you see an Opto, like a Latitude 64 Opto musket, this is the starter disc. This is the driver to start with. It is easy to use. So easy to use. It's awesome. It's a 10 speed. It's got a 5 glide, so it's nice. It's nice and glidey. It's a turn of negative 0.5, so it almost has no turn. And it's got a fade of 2, so it's gonna finish just a little bit to the left at the end, so barely any at all. It's great. Love it. So much fun. It's a lot of fun to throw skip shots. I throw a lot of skip shots. I like throwing, short of the basket and letting it skip closer, shot it, going in. That's that one. And the other one is a 5264 Opto Striker. This one is, I specifically use this for throwing flick shots. The plastic is great. It's that Opto plastic, so it's really tough, and it's a fairway driver, so it's pretty consistent. I know that I can throw it on. I'm a little unsure exactly the terminology on a flick. I think it's throw it on an anhyzer, so it'll start to the left and then it'll finish right. So there's some tight wooded holes near, in a couple of the courses that are here. I can grab that disc and I can S my way through a couple of the trees and stay low. That's the thing about that one. I can throw it really low. So if I have a low ceiling shot, I know it's not going to creep up on me like some of the others do. So yeah, that's my fairway drivers. So moving on to my distance drivers. In no particular order of like favorites or whatever. I am gonna go by brand because I have too many of them. Just way too many. And what is this? 5, 11. I have 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 20 discs in my bag. 11 of them are distance drivers. That's probably not good. If that tells you anything about where I am in my game. I am the classic noob player. I haven't fallen for all of the pitfalls yet, though, so don't hate on me. Too bad. There's one mistake I didn't make that I know some of you out there did. I did my research. Still tempted, though. I'm still human, so I'm still going to do it. I just did it in the other order. So one of the first is my buddy got me to try to get me like interested is a Yikun Disc Twin Swords. This one has been in and out of my bag a lot. It is not my favorite disc. It's a beautiful disc. It's fun. He swears by his. It's in my bag because right now the way it's beat in, it does, like I can Anheuser it okay, and I'm trying to learn how to throw hyzer flip shots with it. So it can do something that I can't do with any of my other disc drivers yet. So that's why it's still in the bag. Not a huge fan. I probably wouldn't recommend a new player go get this. It's a 12-speed disc with no turn is what the numbers say, but that's not at all how it flies. It comes out more like, well, it comes out more like 13 with like a 3 turn. So, and it's really heavy. Not my favorite disc, but again, I'm trying to learn how to throw hyzer flip shots and Anheisers, and I can do that with this one. So that's why it's in the bag. After that, we're gonna go on to my Discraft drivers. Because going back to something I said with fairway drivers, a couple of these I feel like fly more like fairways. For starters, start out with these. This, I'm not sure what this stamp is from. I bought it at a tournament that I went to watch. It's a Nuke OS. Discraft Nuke OS. I do not have the arm speed to throw this thing. I need like hurricane force winds to keep it straight. And they'd have to be going left to right if I'm throwing a right-hand backhand shot. Or else this thing is going immediately to the left. I can't throw this disc. So, like, I rarely ever touch it. If I need something to cut absolutely wickedly to, like, the right on a flick, like go hard right on a flick, or go hard left on a backhand, or there's stupid wind and I'm, for whatever reason, like, still decided to play, which typically I wouldn't. If there's that crazy wind, I just, wait till another day. I will grab it. I did throw a few hammer shots with it the other day, and it was kind of sort of predictable and slid really well. So it's staying in the bag just for that reason for now. I probably will take it out of my bag at some point though, because I'm not a fan. Or it's more like I don't throw it. I can't throw it the way it's supposed to be thrown, so I don't use it. So to my favorite discs. ESP Undertaker, Big Z Undertaker. This is Paige Pierce. get these discs. If you're missing a driver that has great control, really predictable turn, you can put it on the line. It's easy to throw. It can do flick or backhand if you're a flick player. Predictably, it holds a pretty straight line if you can put just a touch of Anheuser angle on it. These just are fantastic. I love them to pieces. They're constantly in my hand for, I could go to a course right now back at home and know that half the shots on, like one of my favorite courses, half the shots are basically Undertaker shots, like the other half are one of my other drivers. So yeah, like it's in my hand a lot. It gets thrown on a lot of the courses I play. A lot of the holes that I play, they get thrown. They're fantastic. I love them to pieces. I got this one for Christmas. Loved it enough that I really wanted to try it in the other plastic because I loved this so much. Yeah, I would recommend something that I read a lot of people say, and I found it to be true. If you find a disc that you really like, instead of getting a bunch of discs, so like you got a Destroyer and a Wraith and a Hades and a Zeus and an Undertaker and an Onyx and a this and a that and a this and a that and a this and I know there's a bunch of other brands out there that I didn't name, like PD2s and D3s and whatever. Instead of doing that, if you find one that you really like, just get multiples of it. Get it in different plastics because it'll fly differently. Get it in the overstable versions or understable versions. I know Discraft usually does that. So like the Nuke, you've got the Nuke OS and the Nuke SS. Same with the Crank. So you got the Crank OS, Crank SS. A lot of the discs have the more overstable versions or more understable versions, or better, like different plastics. So try out different variations of the same disc before you go trying a bunch of new discs. Once you learn how this disc flies, if you buy that same disc, it won't be as beat in or something, but it's instead of trying to learn a whole new disc, you have that disc in a different plastic that's just slightly different, and you just know the difference between the two discs that are the same mold, instead of having like 11 drivers that are all different, which is my mistake. So the next one is the Discraft Hades. I'm still learning this disc. I wanted to be like Paul McBeth, so I bought into the Discraft line, just so I could get better discs and try them and learn them. I like it. It's a lot of fun. For a backhand drive shot that I can put a lot of power on, I know I can get a good S-curve out of it and get, almost 350. My distance is almost up to 350. I can get that kind of distance consistently, and I know how it's going to fly. So, I keep putting these discs in my bag backwards. Wes, what are you doing? OCD. Not OCD, but like particular. Oh. Alright, so also Zeus. If I'm on a big course or a longer hole that I need this disc to finish to my right, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to throw a flick, which I do a lot. I'm a flick dominant player. At least half the shots I throw are flick shots, unless I'm like close. Like half the drives are flick drives, unless it's wide open or whatever. I'm throwing flicks a lot because I can. I know I'm more comfortable do it. I can see where I'm throwing the whole time. I'm just more comfortable throwing flicks. This is my flick driver. Like, oh man, I know exactly where this disc is going to go. Every time it comes out of my hand, I know exactly what line it's going to throw. It's the same way every time. Consistently starts to the left and then cuts hard, fades back. Consistently to the right, and then skips. Depending on elevation and hill or whatever terrain on the hole that I'm throwing, it'll skip a little further up. So, and I can predict for that. Like I know it's gonna happen. So it's nice. Really good disc. Would recommend. It's fun. It's good. Like if it's in your bag, you've got a good consistent disc. Now, where I am leaning more towards my favorite brand. The more that I've thrown them, the more that I enjoy them. And the more like they are the go-to driver. Like my max, like the farthest disc that I can throw is an Innova disc. Yeah, great for beginners. Just consistent discs. Love them to pieces. I love the plastics that they come in. The artwork is really cool. They're easy to find. Like Play It Again and Dick's usually carry these. Like Innova specifically, they usually carry them pretty well, so they're easy to find. Like in person, you can put your hands on it before you buy it, which is nice because like you pick out what stamps you want, or like you get the disc if you like that stamp. You don't buy the disc and then get there, and while it's shipped, you hope it's not your least favorite color or whatever. So the first disc in this, let's talk about this one, Thunderbird. I've watched a lot of review videos on this because when I got it, or I guess still, I don't know why I can't throw this disc. Everyone out there says it's a really great flying, good beginner disc, consistent disc, love it, and every kind of plastic. Every video I've seen just sings its praises. The Champion Thunderbird. Every video out there yells and like screams that this is the disc you want. I don't agree. For me, I like this disc. If I need a flick to go about 100 feet and start going immediately to the right, almost, this is the disc. Like that's about all I ever use it for. I almost never throw this disc. I would love to film myself throwing it. I can't get it to do what a lot of other people use it for, and I don't know why. I just never have been able to use it very well. Like I stopped using my musket for a while because I threw the ace and I was going to retire it. And so for like the next few days, I was trying to use that and just couldn't. I got no distance out of any of my shots because they were all just going, turning way too hard to the left. And just, I don't like it. Try it. You might. I personally don't. Next disc is, go back. I don't like it for most things. There are shots that I know that only that disc can do, or I can only get the shot to do that if I have that disc in my hand, the Thunderbird in my hand. I know that's the only way I'm going to get the shot to go to work. Those exist. There are holes at the courses I play that's the disc I'm grabbing at that hole. That being said, it's not often in my hand. This one I actually just got today. My wife has one in the Champion Plastic Valkyrie. I had it in the DX. They're just in of its basic beginner plastic, and it was super beat up, and it was just really too low of a speed for me to get good use out of. I was still learning how to throw and I didn't like it, so I gave it to a friend of mine. A couple weeks ago, a week or so ago, whatever, my wife, we got some new discs, went to Play It Again Sports and found some, and she got a Valkyrie in this Champion plastic, and it was gorgeous. It was like a red with the gold foil, and it was awesome. She loves it. She's not letting me touch it. She actually did let me throw it a couple times, and I really wanted one, but they only had one. So fair's fair. She got it. I have way more discs than she does anyway. So she got that one. So today I found my own. She knows about it. She's cool with it. But yeah, I found my own. I have my own Valkyrie now. And sorry for the flickering light. This hotel's been doing that. I don't know why. I'm not at home. I'm away on training. Yeah. So I'm excited to actually throw this one. I have yet to throw this one. I should be able to get some really good distance out of this, and I might even be able to hyzer flip this disc some. That's a shot style that I'm trying to learn, get that max distance out of throw. I am trying to learn how to do that. I'm hoping I can do that with this disc. So there's a mistake I was talking about earlier. Like, a lot of beginners make this mistake. One of the most popular discs out there, one of the best selling discs of all time out there on a lot of like the Infinite discs and whatever, only the best discs, all these websites that sell all the different companies that track, hey, which discs has sold best, more of whatever. A lot of them, or at least through last year, I don't know if that's accurate, like as per when I'm filming this, but the most recent videos I've seen talking about this say like the list was their list, then this was at the top. I found this one today and I lost my mind because I love these kind of discs. It's a misprint. And by that, it has a bunch of foils. I counted, like, I can see 12 different foils. 12. So the Innova basic foil for this is printed twice in, like, each color's done right side up and upside down in, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different colors, plus then there's a silver like tournament stamp done twice for this really awesome super misprinted Innova Destroyer. So here's the mistake a lot of people make. Super popular disc, right? Oh, driver, I want that big distance. I want what all the pros throw. I'm going to go get a Destroyer too because it's going to go forever. I'm going to be able to throw 500 feet. You get it, and it goes 150 feet straight to the left. And you get really frustrated, and you keep trying, and you learn these really bad habits, and you hurt your arm, and you're not throwing right, and you're not getting the distance that you could because it's going straight to the left, and then you get really frustrated and think you suck at disc golf, when really this disc is too big of a speed. It's a 12 speed. That's too much for a lot of people. I wanted to try one. I want to try one. I think my Hades is the 12 speed, I believe. I think. Yeah, my Hades is a 12 speed. I'm starting to get really good distance out of it. I'm starting to be able to throw it the way you're supposed to throw a disc. So I figured it's time to bust down and try one. And I found it for, a few dollars because it's super misprinted and it's super pretty. I love it. And I'm excited. To anyone who's watching this that's a new player, don't start out with a Destroyer. Work your way up to a Destroyer. I mean, if it's what you have, it's what you can find, that's fine, but know that this disc is going to turn really hard really early. You're not going to be able to get the max distance out of this because 12 speed is a really high speed. Beginners don't really get 12 speed discs to fly the way they're supposed to. That takes time. Watch those videos on how to throw right, how to get good distance, how to have good form. There's a bunch of people out there that explain it really well. Drew Gibson has some great videos. I want to say Latitude or Dynamic Discs. I forget which company. Thomas something other. He's a Scandinavian ex-pro who does instructional videos too. He has some great videos on how to get good distance. Yeah, there's a lot of good instructional videos on how to throw properly and get that good, that good release, that good step up, that good throw, and to get this to do what it should. Watch those. Once you get your form up, then go get a destroyer. Until you're there, get a Wraith. It's an 11 speed, but otherwise, all the numbers are exactly the same. You're not going to be able to see the numbers. So all these numbers except for the 11. This number here. On the destroyer, that's a 12 speed. On the Wraith, it's an 11, so it's easier to throw. I like the Pro Plastic. It's nice and soft. I can bend it a little. And it feels really good in my hand. It's really comfortable. It's good. I like this one because it's yellow. It's really easy to find. Like if it's starting to get darker, this is the disc because I can find it. Okay. This disc flies further than any other disc in my bag. When I throw, I can get this disc more distance than anything else in my bag. And I know that consistently. This is the distance disc for me. Get a Wraith. If you're a new player, get a Wraith. If you're an experienced player and you don't have one, get a Wraith. If you already have a Wraith, get another Wraith. This is the disc. Love it. Favorite driver. I love throwing this one because it's rainbow and it's really pretty. So this is in the Champion plastic, same as like a lot of the other discs. That clear plastic, this one's just got stamped, like dyed. It's been dyed. I don't know by who. I got this one out of Dick's, maybe? I don't remember. Yeah, it was at a Dick's. But yeah, like it took me a long time to learn how to throw this disc, but like that was mostly because I was throwing bad. I was like, my form sucked. Now that my form is getting better, I can put these 330, 350 feet every single time. If I have the open enough field, I know, or like I can flick it really far, really consistently, holds a great line. I know how it's going to turn and fade. Just new players, go get a Wraith. They're amazing. But yeah, these are like my go-to, like tee shot, like long par 3 or par 4 holes. I'm throwing this off the tee almost every time. I mean, we'll see how the destroyer goes, but yeah, mostly it's the Wraith. But yeah, so and then I have the trooper bag that I keep my putters up here, and then I go from my zone, so distance increasing as I go this way. So I've got my approach, I've got my mid-range, I've got my fairways, and my like more consistent drivers, and then I go up with the Discraft drivers, and then you can separate some of the twin swords, and then I've got my Innova, and then these over here are discs that I just don't throw a lot. That just for specific shots. But yeah, that's how I organize my bag, and I basically keep them the same way every time. I say that, and then I put the discs in the wrong order, like 2 of them. But yeah, that's my bag. See how long it stays that way. I will probably weed out some of these drivers and try to find some better fairways, just to improve my game, get a little more consistent. I don't need that many. Like, I could take half of these out and be just fine. 20, if I took 10 out. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I could take 10 out and be just fine. I'd have to decide real hard, like the last couple of the 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'd be tough. I could play with 10 discs. It would just not be fun. It would be plenty of fun. It'd be difficult. I'd have to choose which ones I was going to play with instead of, hey, I'm taking these ones out of my bag. But yeah, so that's my bag. That's my thoughts. I probably will just delete this video, but we'll see. If you end up seeing it, then I decided not to, and yay, lucky you. But have a good night. I'm going to lay down and try to get some sleep. I've got some more training in the morning. Long day, 8:30 to 5 tomorrow. So, yeah, there's me giving you my thoughts while I'm in Tampa. Have a good one. Enjoy yourself.